everybody. I decided I'm going to paint today. So I got my black canvas. Hi, hi, hi. And I don't know what I want to try. But I'm going to grab some white because white is always good for black. We'll have some Tibetan healing bowls on. How about my favorite go-to is always sky and mountains. Let's try out this. I don't think this is the right brush. I think this is more of a stippling brush, but I want to see. Everything I do is experimental. Okay, cool. So that gives us little fleckies like stars, which I kind of am digging that. So let's go with that a little bit. Really like that. I never use things as they are supposed to be used, I guess you'd say. I just wing it. Alright, so now we've got some good stars going on there. Love it. Okay. What else? I'm going to put my brush in water so that it doesn't get all dried up and clogged up. Like 90% of my brushes, because I don't rinse them and then they get all dried up. Okay. Something I learned watching a video the other day was clouds need shadows underneath. So all the clouds that I've been doing lately have not had any shadows underneath, which is why I couldn't figure out why they didn't look very realistic. So if I put some dark shadows underneath of these guys, it should help. We've got a big load of washer and blankets and stuff, dog blankets from winter time in the washing machine. So if we hear some clanking and clanging, it's the washing machine. All right, so I'm digging these little clouds. Just try to do them randomly and not bunch them all up in the same spot. Oh, I'm loving the sound of these Tibetan healing bowls. Very nice. All right, I don't want to go overboard with too many clouds to begin with. See if I can do a mountainscape, because I haven't done those in a while. A long while. What I mean while, I think I've painted 2 paintings since I have gotten hurt. Because I was struggling so bad. And this brush is basically just cemented into place. But it still works for what I'm trying to do here. I think. And we'll just have a play around and see what comes out of it. Because why not? It's a beautiful day outside, but the mosquitoes are ridiculous, so I'm gonna hang out inside and enjoy a nice painting session while the dogs take their nap because they just had a nice long walk. There we go. We got a little bit of mountains and a landline. So if you're new to painting, just grab a brush and play around and see what you end up with, and you'll subscribe. You will surprise you. You will surprise yourself. Is what I'm trying to say. My brain injury is speaking up today. So I don't want those straight lines to be so straight. So let's smooth those over and blur out the mountain top just a little bit, hopefully. I am not professionally trained at all. I took a few small courses in middle school for art class. So whatever I do, I have self-taught. And if I mess up, well, I just make lemonade out of lemons and go with something else. This is for fun. And I need more paint on the brush because it's just scraping. But that's what's nice about this too. This plasticky kind of black material is, if you want to reintroduce some shadows, you can just scratch away at the paint if it's fairly fresh and it will come right off, which is awesome. So yeah, I think I'm over fixating on this mountain and it's becoming boggled. But we'll just do a little bit of that. All right, now what do I want to do? I think my clouds have dried enough that I can add a second layer. Hopefully. Now my brush is a little bit more wet because I set it in the rinsing cup. Just be careful. Yep, paint's a little more runny. Alright, let's do some circle motions to make some cloudy fluffies. Of course, I always want to add water, so I'm probably thinking about putting a pond or a lake or a little river of some sort right here. That would be nice. So we can just kind of hint one in like so. Just like that. And then expand upon it however we want. And since this is our base layer, it doesn't have to be perfection. If you want darker depths, just don't put as much paint there. Let it be a shadow. Try not to paint our post of our house. There we go. All right. Now I want to think about adding some foliage, some greenery. Add a little bit of green into my white. So that I know what I'm doing with color variation change here. All right. Let's hint at a tree back here. Look at that little baby pine tree. Way off in the distance. Simple as a little wiggly squidge. Okay, maybe it's a tree. Regular tree. Alright. Oh, my hand's shaky. It's the finer details that get me. I do good with large brushes, but
with new mixing bowl mashup plus fan.
We're not playing commercials for free over here. It's the smaller handles and the smaller paintbrushes that get my hand not wanting to be a cooperating. But I just try to not overthink it, because it seems like the more I think about it, the worse the tremor gets. So if I just remind myself that I'm not in any hurry, that this is for fun, then it's okay. We'll get through it. Got our Tibetan bowls back on. And a lot of it is just waiting for whatever you're painting to dry so that you can add more layers. There's this water feature. It's getting there. Pretty soon I'll be able to add some blues. Now to find a softer brush that isn't all frozen up. That might be okay. And I gotta find a blue. I don't have all of my colors here with me, so I'll just have to make do with what I got. So this is supposed to be for making dotted folk art dots, for making, I don't know what they're called, but there's a bunch of neat things that you just do, like mapped out geometrical type dots. It turns out really neat looking too, and I wanted to try that at one time, but I didn't really have, I'm not very good at staying symmetrical. So that's a really bright blue, so I might want to lighten that up just a little bit, but this is just a base layer, so we can lighten it with some white here in a little bit. And who says it has to be natural colors anyway? We could make this a rainbow lake if we wanted to. It's all up to whoever is painting it to decide what they'd like to do. Now my mountains are looking a little dry enough, so let's do a little bit of, whoop, or a lot of brown. It's just decided to let itself out. I always gotta uncrunchy my paintbrushes. There's gotta be a better way, I know there is, but don't want it too dark, so I'm going to add in some white and some brown and some white and blue got in there, but that's okay. Let's see what we get from this. That one's still a little wet, so we'll go over here. Yeah, there we go. That's a nice earthy color. And add in some shadowy splotches onto our mountain. Oops, still a little bit too soggy because it is picking up more paint than it's laying down. So don't push so hard. Stand still for me. And this is a good color for the tree, so let's just go ahead and give him some there we go. Switch to a smaller brush for the tree branch. Whoops. Lost my mixing plate. There we go. Give him some branches. Like that. So thank you to the one person who is hanging out with me while I'm painting. I appreciate you for dropping by. While I explore painting again. It has been a long time. Here we go. That one is just not ready yet. It keeps scratching off the paint. So all right. Well, I think I want a few more clouds. Need a paper towel. Might start adding in a little. Well, let's see what we can do with what we've got here for paint. It's going to end up turning green, or yeah, it's blue, baby blue. Let's add a new spot of white somewhere else, so we're not. I don't want to add any more blue to what I have. Just soften that blue up to almost nothing, almost back to white. But a little bit of shadow for my clouds. All right. Let's introduce a little shadow down here. Paint wasn't completely dry right there, so that's going to have to get patched in a minute. Some of my paints are way more watery than others too, I've noticed. So that will reintroduce water into your paint accidentally. But like I said, I am completely untrained at this. And I'm just going by how I feel at the moment. So we're just learning and relearning how to paint. Not everything has to be perfect. You can always wipe it away or paint over top of it. There we go. I'm liking that. I'm going to add a top layer onto that. Well, oops. Too thick of a mark there. Let's wipe some of that paint away from the brush. Oopsies. I'll fix it in a minute. Not quite ready for another layer yet. Gotta let it dry some more. Painting is a lot about patience. I'm learning again. All right, well, I think I'm going to have to let it dry some more before I work much more on it. Just add in just a smidge more grass while I've got. Take my lovely fan brush and do in some grass. And what's nice about this is I dropped some green over my white or light blue, and it made this neat smudge. So I think I'm going to go with that because I like that. So let's do some, yeah, that's kind of cool looking. So let's let it just do its thing here. That's pretty. I like that a lot. Very cool. It's all about playing around and figuring out what you like best. And it's supposed to be fun and relaxing and doesn't have to be a stressful thing. Just let your mind let you take you wherever you want. And look at that, we've got some beautiful, like, bushy type texture going on here. Just by taking a fanned brush and patting, like this. Patty, pat, pat. And then if I swipe, I get grass. And if we go this way, we get the texture that I have back up here. So there we go. We've got like a little row of bushes. And then we go back to our little prairie grass. Very like, stop wiggling. Very liking that. I'm going to add in some soft blue, a little bit of brown. Let's see what that does. Ooh, that creates a kind of a cool gradient effect. Oh wow, look at what that did, guys. That is awesome. Whoops, I don't want to go upwards. I'm digging on that. Ooh, I like that a lot. All right. Let's add in some more greenery, and then we just wiped it right into the water, didn't we? I can fix it. There we go. And if we do little pulls, will we get little grass? Yeah. We get little tiny press and pull down. We're getting some grass growing up in here. That looks cool. I like that too. Oh, that's quite fun. I really like that brown swipe. That I'm trying not to cover that over. I want to fill in this area a little bit more. Let's do that pat and pull method again. There we go. We're getting some grass growing. I'm digging this. That is cool. We'll have to let that dry. Hey! Hi, Tracy. Welcome in. I was just about getting finished because I'm running out of space where it's not too dry. Thank you. Yeah, getting my practice in. Trying to get this, what do you call it? My painting ability back. So I'm really digging that line that I made, but now I can't go over it because it's got to dry again. So I'm kind of stuck. Maybe might be ready enough for some more white, but it's not going to be the white that I chose last time because there was too much water in that one. I'm going to go with this chalk paint white because it's a bit thicker. I'm going to have to sweep the floor now because it just came from under the lid. I'm going to get this chalk paint white a try and see how that goes on my mountaintops. Okay, good. Yep, that's what I was hoping for, is nice, thick. Now, if I can get the good angle here and just kind of, oh, that looks like snow. I like it. I'll get my hand to cooperate with me. That's the hard part, is telling my brain to tell my hand, this is the angle we want. There we go. Come on, we can do this. There. Oh, I'm liking the snow. That looks so good. That looks good. Let's try that on the other mountaintop side. Well, Tracy, I will grab the picture of what I'm going to tear up a little bit, of what I used to be able to do here, and I will show you what I'm striving for again. This is one of the last ones that I did before I got a shadow on it. This is one of the ones I did right before my injury. I used to paint inside of clear glass ornaments and do pet portraits of dogs and horses inside the ornaments. So I've got a lot of way to go yet before I get back to that. But I'm hoping. My problem is I can't use my eyes the way I used to look inside of the ornaments anymore. Is even when I go places, like a restaurant, and I try to read the menu, I have to hold it a certain way, or I can't make it out right. It's just frustrating because I damaged my eye pretty rough, and it didn't work right for at least 2 months, if not more. I can't remember exactly how long now, but yeah, I have a lot of problems with my eyes yet. I'm curious to see, with our eye exam coming up, and I think it's this Friday, just curious to see how much damage has been done. Unfortunately, the eye place that we used to go to has shut down, so I don't even know if my records are around anymore at all either. So I'm gonna start from scratch and hope I remember or can find my old records to see how bad my eye was damaged. It should have been done immediately as soon as it started opening up again, but I was in mental limbo. I didn't know how bad it was going to affect me still. I don't know if this is going to look like... Well, it kind of looks like a stream. But it's all fun. I'm grateful for what I do have anyway. I could have been completely blind, or I could have been dead. So here I am, recovering, which is what I'm about. There, how's that? That looks nice. Like water. Maybe just add a little dollop of that to my mixing plate for some more clouds, because this is nice and thick. This is chalk paint, chalk finish paint. But my usual I work with is acrylic paint. Alright, so let's add some of this white to the clouds, because it's really nice and thick. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. My clouds are still a bit damp too, but I wanted to see if it'll Yeah, it kind of smudges around and mixes together. I'm liking that too. But this is what I'm trying to get back into. Doing so much, I feel so much better mentally. Now I just gotta get my physical and mental to line up together. I don't want a commercial. Keep skipping commercials into my Tibetan. I'm having troubles talking. Tibetan singing bowl music, which is really beautiful. Really does help kind of put you in a Zen mode for this painting stuff. There we go. At least the commercials are short. Oh boy, it's getting a little splotchy. If I'm not careful, I'll walk away and I'll come back and I'll have big paint drop drips down the front. Whoopsies. Let's give it a swirl. Yeah, it's trying to get too heavy on me. There. So yeah, if you haven't tried painting before, sometimes, maybe, grab a paintbrush and play around, because that's how I figured out that I could paint. It just was one of those, I was in my late 20s and there was a wall inside of our motorcycle hauler that needed to be painted, and I thought, what the heck, I'll try painting some clouds. So I painted some clouds and I'm like, okay, well that worked really well, so let me try something else. And then I just started painting it, and I ended up painting a whole mural on the side of our trailer. There we go. All right, that is about it. I am pretty much out of room for any other additions, and I'm kind of getting out of ideas for what more I could paint on here right now. So my best option is to set this one aside and let it dry. Yes, I've seen her a couple of times. I think I've watched a few videos here and there. That is it for that one. I do have another blank that I could start. Oh no! Don't make that mistake and let the let the cord dangle into your project. Maybe I should start it from this way so when I pick it up it'll go the other way. There we go. All right, now we're coming up with an idea for what this one should be. What about making some flowers? That sounds kind of fun. Let's make a stem, like so. And then make some flowers. Oh, gotta hold it more still. There, we got the beginning of a little flower. That's nice. Let's see if I can repeat that. There we go. Whoops. Aw, I'm liking those. Those are adorable. And let's see. I don't want to be too symmetrical, but I would like another one maybe on this side. Let's do a little wiggle wiggle. Lift up and swipe. Like that. Now we got the bases for a couple of nice flowers. Tracy inspired me with flowers. Look at that. Aw. Hello, Rodney and Melissa. How are you? Welcome into chat. Hope you're all doing good today. We are just practice painting. I used to be a good painter. This is something I used to do, pet portraits, before my injury. This is Oliver, a friend's dog. I used to do these pet portraits on the inside of clear plastic Christmas ornaments. But when I injured myself, I messed up my vision and I can't see as well as I was. So I'm working on getting my skills back. I apologize for my speech. It fades in and out. Sometimes I speak perfectly fine and other times I get all jumbled up. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're doing amazing. Hope you're having an awesome day. This just so happens to be my 19th wedding anniversary today. And I'm hanging out waiting for her husband to get home. And hopefully we're going to go out for dinner somewhere. Because I would like to get a nice, I don't know, steak or burger. Sounds really good. Haven't had steaks. Well, last Christmas party was the last time I had steak, which was not this Christmas, but last Christmas. We did not attend it this year. Well, we did some clouds up here, I guess. We'll do some clouds and some tulips. Put some green. So I'm so glad that you joined me in chat today. That's super exciting. Glad to know that it's somewhat interesting to watch somebody learning how to paint again. I've got the Tibetan healing bowl music on in the background. Thank you for the happy anniversary. Not sure what time he's going to get home because working for a farmer, you never know. It is planting season. I picked a great time of the year for our wedding, but at the time my grandmother was getting up there in age and I didn't know for sure how things were going to pan out, so I erred on the side of let's go a little earlier. We were either thinking July or May, and we ended up picking May. Just make sure my grandmother could attend still, which she did. I've got a basic little flower started. I think this guy needs another little leaf down lower, like that. Alice, are you begging to go pee-pee for? You were just out, my dear. Are you just bored? You really need to go pee-pee? All right. 1 second. I gotta let Miss Alice go. And Frank has to go with her. Here you go, sweetie. Okay, now I got my flowers. Can I zoom it in? I can. Learn new stuff every day. That's probably better. Flowers need some sort of color on top. Did I lose? I must have lost Rodney and Melissa. That's okay. Well, I'm glad they stopped by anyways. That's super nice to see somebody hop into the chat there. Somebody new, somebody who I visited there before. I did have a pink around here somewhere. I'm sure not spying it now. I guess that's all I got is this one. I got the pink and I got the red I could mix together. Painting is a lot about mixing color theory too. Uh-oh, this one's jammed up. It's not gonna go. And then if I open the cap, it's gonna be too much, probably. Just need a tiny little. Is this one completely froze up? No. Oh, bother. Just need a little tiny dot. There we go. So these
With new mixing bowl mat.
pointed tip nozzles are not the greatest because they get all jammed up. Okay. And then I lost my other color. Okay. I'm always forever setting stuff off to the side and losing it. Well, shoot, that's not nearly enough pink. Oh my goodness. Technical difficulties. I knew I'd end up with way too much red. Well, let's work with what we've got here. Give it a wiggle. There we go. Little wiggle, 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 and a swipe. All right. Now I'm going to mix that together so it's a solid color. And then I'm going to smack my finger on the top. And then I'm going to come in this direction and do the base of the flower. That. And blend. And blend. Whoop. Happy little accidents. And they just grew exponentially larger flowers, but that's all right. We'll just make it a part of what I was I meant to do that. Yeah, that's it. I meant to do that. Now I'm going to come in with some more red and make a line that makes it look like a petal. Don't forget our little friend over here. There we go. Happy little accidents, as my favorite painter Bob Ross would say. There we go. We've got a happy little whoops, and then I had a hand twitch that made a squiggly line. Ah, bother. We'll try again. All right. That's all right. And we got some pretty little tulips anyway. Just like that. So that was I don't even know where this one came from. Oh, True Red. Mixture of True Red and Sun-Kissed Peach. All right. And that's about it for that one, because everything else needs to dry. Oh, yes. I was kind of listening to a little bit of his story, and it seems like it's really sad that sounds like he was exploited a little bit, and basically the company that did his show was using him and not treating him very nicely, which makes my heart hurt, because I think Bob Ross was a very nice man. But that is all I can do on this guy until it dries down and I come up with some more ideas. Oh, perfect. What I should do when this dries is put our wedding flower in, which is the lily of the valley. That would look pretty right in here. But that is, my 2 canvases are started and done until they're dry. Oh, you heard about that too. Well, that is it for this one. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Oh, I've got lilies of the valleys right there. My false ones. Right over there. That way I have them all the time. Okay. Well, that turned out really cute. I'm glad I decided to do flowers. Well, thanks for keeping me company. I super duper do appreciate it. I'm sorry if I come across a little slow speeched or I'm not good at conversating as much as I would hope to be, but yeah. Swoop around here. This is me today. Got my hair up in a pony. And it's cool enough for a sleeveless shirt. So I think I'm gonna end the live here, you guys. Appreciate you all so much for joining me. Big hugs, much love. I will see you on my next live. If you like this, give me some comment ideas down below once this uploads. It'll take like about a day because my internet is very poor, but it'll come back up. And if you think about it, pop back on, leave me a comment of something that maybe I should try practicing. Have a blessed day. I enjoy your company so much too, Tracy. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye. Much love.